Welcome to this tutorial for OBS Raw. We start with adding the OBS Raw sub-action. In here you always need to add 2 brackets. After that you can add your request type. The request type is just the request you want to make. For this tutorial I will start with GetVideoInfo. For GetVideoInfo you don't need to add any request fields. I will explain more about request fields later. Now we can save and run the action. So here in the action history variables you see every variable this OBS Raw script gives. Now we will use some request fields. We will be using the request SetCurrentScene. We'll be needing the request field scene name, so we just copy and paste that in. And a very important thing is the comma at the end of the lines except the last line. I have it set to main, so it's going to switch to that scene, and if I change it to intermission it will change to that scene. For this request we are gonna use GetSourceSettings. We need that for the next request. The request fields for this is source name, so we just add that. And when we click test we see all these source settings that we'll use for SetSourceSettings. For the last request we are gonna use SetSourceSettings. We have to use the request field source name and source settings, but the source settings is an object, so that's a bit different than the other ones. So first we start with adding the source name as usual. But now the source settings. You need to add another set of brackets for this one. So we just do that. And in those brackets all the source settings can go in there. So we just add these ones. We start with changing the text to follow a goal, 420. And we need to make some kind of sub-branch of font. And for the size we don't need quotation marks because it's a number. And now, if we click test we can change the source settings of this text source. You can do this on all sources, for example in color source. And even with sources from plugins, like the blur filter from Stream Effects. Thanks for watching.